This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
So I snapped it one day going about 120 mile an hour. That's what I do when I drive down there.
And co-host Marnie Winfield.
There's a phrase on top that says, do what you love. I'm going to put that one in my office.
It is the 26th of July, 2022. Corey Winfield.
My name is Marnie Winfield.
Welcome to 217 Recovery Podcast. Going to talk today about some stuff that went down in a meeting the other day and what was said at this meeting. I'm not going to say what kind of meeting it was because they are more focused on attraction rather than promotion. So that said, we're at this AA meeting the other day, and a guy starts talking about how he had, well, first of all, we got to go back to this because this was kind of silly. This lady started talking about how she was getting tag teamed by her sponsors. And when she said that, of course, I perk up. Like, I don't think she understands what she just said. And I looked at Justin. He was there with me. Justin knew exactly what I was thinking, you know, dirty old man that I am. And then after she went, the guy started talking, and he said he was getting triple teamed by his sponsors. And I actually let out a verbal, like I couldn't even hold it in. Like I think I was like looking on my phone doing voicemail, or not voicemail, but emails or something. And so I just hear that, and it just comes out. And Justin looks at me like, would you grow up?
Yeah.
And I just shrugged him off and thought, oh, I'm having fun. I don't know. It was hilarious to me. But anyway, so to the good stuff.
Okay.
To me, that was kind of good stuff too. But the guy was talking about how he had the sponsee and he was 22 and he went to a meeting, had a good time, said he enjoyed it. And about a week later, he got a text from his sponsee saying, look, you know, the AA stuff was fun or whatever, but I don't really think I need all that. So if I do need it again one day, I'll have it and I'll read it. But for right now, I think I'm good. And it's just like, oh, and it just reminded me of like, oh man, I would do anything not to be in that stage anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I'm not, but my gosh, can you remember them early days? Just denial. And I think a lot of it is because we don't want to admit that we have a problem or that we're weak, you know, because at first we think, oh, we're weak. And those people that drink too much, they just have no self-control and whatever. And he probably talked to his family. And I think he actually did say he's just going to drink beer.
That was his
He did
resolve.
tell that, yeah, because, sorry, I have a cat dancing around my keyboard. But we've all been there. I'll just drink beer. I'm not going to drink the hard stuff anymore, which, okay, but the end result, we still get drunk, and that's what people don't like, and that's when we make our wonderful decisions. So that kind of was like, oh, man, that kind of hit home. And then another person was talking about, not his sponsee, but just people getting out of treatment and how like a friend of his or something got out of treatment after, 30 days and he didn't last very long, and the stuff that he was doing. And it was more about the stuff that he wasn't doing. I started thinking about that right away. And, my time in sober living and what I've seen around a few cities is the people don't have the desire. They say, oh, in the AA thing that I'm not talking about, the desire to stop drinking. For me, I needed a desire to do something else. I started 217 Recovery. That was my desire. There was a guy in there that said he got out of jail 10 years early out of prison because there were a couple of judges that went to bat for him. And his desire was to not let those judges down, and that desire was more than the desire to drink. So I think that, this is just my personal opinion as a professional radio broadcaster, that you got to have that desire for something. And when I was talking to that doctor a few weeks ago, he said, everything starts with a desire. And he's right, but these people, they get out of treatment and they've just been told, oh, you're doing so much better, everything's great. And they go right back into the same old routine, no desire to change anything, no desire to keep them from drinking or from using. So I think that's a huge part of it. And how does someone find their desire? I don't know.
Right.
Some people have the desire not to go to jail. Only until that's taken away, you finish drug court or you're off probation, then it's up to you again. Mm-hmm. And they sometimes lose that desire. So
Right.
I was thinking about that kind of stuff.
Well, it was brought to my attention. We were having a conversation about, you mentioned treatment and being in, 30 days of treatment, and that there's this thought some people have that once they're done with treatment, they're like fixed,
Mm-hmm.
and so they can just go out and back into the world, back into their daily routine, like you're talking about, because they've, like they went through a car wash or something, like I'm all sparkly and new now. Well, that might be the case, but like you need to work on yourself still. You still need to, like you said, find a desire, put work into your recovery and practice the things that you learned there, while you're in treatment. Your toolkit, like they talk about all the time. I think it's so cheesy, but there's so much truth to it.
Your tank.
I am my recovery tank.
Recovery tank.
Keep your recovery tank full.
If you haven't seen Marnie's video, you should check it out.
Oh, yeah, my spotlight.
Yeah.
Recovery spotlight. It's on the website.
Yep. 217recovery.com. It's on YouTube, but go to our website and watch it. It's on our app as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So watch her and talk about her recovery tank, which is a good motto, and you have to look at things like that sometimes, and it might sound cheesy or it might sound cool. It's not about that. It's about the resources and things that you're going to do to keep you sober.
Mm-hmm.
The desire.
Desire. Find your it.
Your desire, I think, was to go back to school, to get married. I think you had a lot of other desires.
Mm-hmm.
And it overtakes that desire to drink, and it just takes time, though, sometimes. And don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on people if they've been to treatment a few times.
I think I had a lot to prove to myself, and that sounds like it's a bad thing, but I think I was aware of how much potential that I had and how much time that I just gave that to drugs and alcohol. And that made me angry, honestly, made me mad, made me ashamed, made me sad. And it made me feel like I had a lot of making up to do for myself, Yeah, I wanted to, I would love to find a relationship and get married, but like that wasn't something that I thought would be something that I was going to go run out and find. Then I would check that off my list. It was like, I need to do what I need to do for me. And then hopefully something like that will come along. And it did.
I checked it off my list. But you still have that desire to be married. And you know that if you're drinking, if you're doing that old Marnie lifestyle, no one's ever going to marry your ass.
That's true.
Nobody worth anything.
That's very true. Just like people that, their desire might be, they'll say, to get their kids back or, it's not, it is that, but if you frame it differently and frame it about, I want to be a better parent so I can have a healthy relationship with my children and my children want to be in my life. That's a whole different frame of mind. It's not like, I'm doing this for them. You're doing it for you so you can celebrate a relationship with your children or your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's people who have a desire to work in the recovery industry, the recovery field. And I've noticed two different types of people. There's the people that go out and get it, go out and take it. And then there's the people that go out and kind of do enough to where they think it should just be given to them. Well, I've done enough. I took recovery coach training. Give me a job.
All right.
What else did you do? I chair a meeting. Okay. Well, what else are you doing? Like you just keep asking that question to them, and after the second answer, they're out. They're done. I'll make my bed. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing to do that? Like what goals do you have? What are you achieving every single day that's going to put you in a good spot to work at a treatment center? What do you have to offer them? oh, you took recovery coach training. Okay, there's thousands of people who took recovery coach training. They're like, what makes you special? Like, what else are you doing?
Right.
You know, so
It's very true.
I've noticed that though. There's two different types.
Well, I had that same conversation though with a woman today who had gotten her certification, and it was basically a compliment to the job she was at. You know, it was helpful for her to have that certification because of where she worked, right? So it made her understand things better, gave her more background on how to deal with individuals, all that stuff. Not like it's a training to become one, to become a certified peer recovery coach so you can go and be a peer recovery coach, which people like that exists now, which is great. Mm-hmm. It's great. But you're saying like people that are filling out applications to go have that be their job, mm-hmm. and really all they're doing is showing them a certification slip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
I didn't have to go anywhere to get it. I did it on Zoom, the training, and now I got it. Okay, now hire me. Mm-hmm. Well, what else are you doing? You know, like, are you just trying to half-ass work? You might as well just go work somewhere else, you know? Like, you probably get paid a little more.
Well, the input and guidance that you need to give others in that job, if you want to call it that, in that position of being a certified peer recovery coach, is more than you learn in those trainings. It's way more than you learn in those trainings.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the people that have those quote unquote jobs posted take that into consideration. And I'm not trying to knock the people that that's what they're trying to pursue. That's great. But make sure that you're more well-rounded than just a certification.
Yeah, you have to have the desire to help people. You really do. And I think that's when the stuff automatically comes out. You know, I'm like, what are you doing? What else are you doing? Well, somebody who's really doing whatever, they'll name off 10, 15 different things, and they'll keep going and like, oh yeah, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And then my in there list, Casey, with I'm always so busy though, because I'm so busy, I'm working. I was sarcastic with him the other day because tomorrow I guess we're going to do his podcast.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yep.
That's great.
And I was like, yeah, I remember those days I was busy with 2 jobs and full-time student, house manager, seeing this girl who was always texting me, telling me that she can only hear about my day if she listens to the podcast. Oh, yeah, doing a podcast and trying to get my 501c3 paperwork all legit, going to like 7 meetings a week. Yeah, and did 4 podcasts, about 45 minutes, hour long each week.
Mm-hmm. You're a busy guy.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine doing one that's 15 minutes long. Holy cow. We should wrap it up now. We're approaching that. Show Casey how easy it is.
Right.
No, I'm busting his balls. And with that being said, I couldn't bust his balls too bad because I wanted to switch over. This, by the way, is our 675th episode.
Holy moly.
So that's what's up. That's what's up, you know what I'm saying? But the reason why I know that is because I wanted to switch over from Spreaker to this RSS.com for people who are interested, maybe looking at podcasting. But okay, cool. And it's like if you switch over, you get 6 months free, and they have something for nonprofits, you know, discount. So that would save us money since we are a nonprofit. And if you have a birthday on Facebook and you'd like to raise money for us, we really would appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I finally the other day, like I was dragging my feet for like a week. So that's why I couldn't really bust Casey's balls too bad on this. So then I finally do it yesterday. And I get an email back from them today, and it just didn't make any sense. And I, over the last 4 days, have had probably 15 hours of sleep, maybe. It's horrible. I can't sleep. My stomach is killing me. Doctor appointment tomorrow for the back. Mm-hmm. I'm just old. I'm 44 now. Mm-hmm. Things just don't work like they used to. I mean, some things do, if you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying. So I get an email from them, and they're like, oh, hey, we noticed. And I told them we had about 680. I was just ballparking episodes, and they're like, yeah, it's not a problem. Well, I get an email today from this person saying, hey, you have 674 episodes, and if you switch to our platform, blah, 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 we can only go back 300 episodes. And I'm like, what? And they said, and the reason why we do this is because Apple only goes back 300. So here's how you change it, and here's how you do this and that, and blah, blah, blah. It's pretty much saying, like, delete all your old episodes or something. So what the frick are you talking about? And knowing that they were wrong, what they were telling me, I pulled up Apple Podcasts or whatever, and I go to ours, and I scroll all the way down to episode 1. And this is 375. Mm-hmm. Every single podcast is on there. And then I thought, well, maybe he got it confused. Maybe he was thinking of Amazon Music, because we're on there, which you can tell. You can say, hey, bleep, play the latest from 217 Recovery, and it'll play it. That service, I go on there every single episode. I think Spotify doesn't have one of them. I don't know. There's a lot of them, and you can listen to however you want. But first I thought, well, that's no big deal. We have every single episode listed on our app. But then I'm like, how long are we going to keep the app? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's quite expensive. Again, start a birthday thing for us on Facebook. We really appreciate it. But there's the daily reflections, the 24 hours a day. We have the readings on our app. You can check that out too. But it just kind of like made me very sad, because I was excited to leave Spreaker because I didn't like how they were kind of treating us. Mm-hmm. And then I go to this other one who I think, okay, finally they're going to treat us well. They got a discount for nonprofits. And then I get told nonsense. Like, it doesn't make any sense why he would tell me that. Like, somebody was clearly misinformed. So now, and I haven't gotten a reply back. I tried not to react in a way that would embarrass myself. I just said, right now, Apple has every single one of our episodes on there. So I did say that I was excited to leave Spreaker, and now I'm having second thoughts. And can you please help clear up this confusion of why Apple has every single podcast on there, and you're telling me that they only have 300?
This was today.
White people problems.
This was today.
Yeah.
Okay. So give them a day to see what what their excuses are.
Yeah, but I'm already assuming they're gonna lie to me. Like, was that dude just being lazy? Like, is that his job to go through every single one and click a button and like move it over and save it to their library? Like, ow. Sorry, my stomach just hurt. Like, it hurts. It just hurts. Kind of like when I'm at a meeting and I hear a lady saying something about tag team by her sponsor, and then the guy talking about getting triple teamed by his sponsors.
Only you.
It just comes out. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know. Like, as soon as I think I'm making progress with something sometimes, and this happens in life all over the place. What they say, the grass isn't always greener.
Right. Yeah.
But damn, I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, at least you haven't committed to anything yet.
I don't think so. I mean, it said switch your podcast over, give us the feed, and I did. But it just redirects everything. I was reading all about it. Like, there's a little redirect command you put in the HTML that'll just kick it. So, like, people that listen, if they're listening on iHeart, whether this got published through RSS.com or Spreaker, nobody would know the difference.
I see.
But I just, like, are 374 extra episodes going to crash their servers or something? I doubt it.
So would that be like your first year and a half?
Probably.
Roughly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't want to lose them. You know, like, if you go back to them, and some of them are horrible, but that's the beauty of it. You know, you can kind of listen now and kind of go, wow.
You can archive them. Can you archive them?
I mean, well, they're on our app too, you know, so it's like, oh, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I don't know. Somebody wants to go through and play them. Like, our app, the bad thing about our app too is you hit play on one, and Sam told us about this, and it kind of frustrated her when she was at work and she'd listen. It would play an episode, then stop.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't keep playing them like it does on Apple.
Yeah.
or on Amazon
or Spotify.
Yeah. So
I used to listen on Spotify.
Yeah. I started at people about that. They're like, yeah, we can't do that yet. I'm like, shut up. Yes, you can. So I got to figure out what's going on there. But yeah, I don't know.
One thing at a time.
Yeah. See what kind of problems I have. It's so. And you just went to work and ate your sandwiches and did your drive-through lunch or whatever you do for your lunch. And Corey's over here having a meltdown over RSS.com. My life is so hard. Just kidding. But no, but that's stuff that if you let fester, it can get under your skin. So I'm using this as a meeting. I've said it many times. I use this podcast for me.
Yeah.
Very selfish with it. And every once in a while I might say something, you might be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But anyway, it is late for us 44-year-old. Well, you're not 44. It's rough to stay up past 9:30. So we'll wrap it up. But I do appreciate you listening. And our website has tons of resources. Oh, I'll talk about that some other time. There's another lady that kind of got under my skin today.
Okay. Hold that thought.
Oh, well, I'll probably just forget it because it's probably not worth much.
Maybe that's better that way then.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do that. We'll just forget it.
Okay.
I'm going to pack it at a meeting tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for listening. 217recovery.com is our website. Our app is in the App Store, Google Play Store. I was told you have to search 217 Recovery Podcast in the Apple Store for it to show up, which is really weird. But do that, download it, listen to all kinds of podcasts, get daily reflections and stuff like that too. So,
cool.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. We hope you come back for our next episode.